It's Listen In with KNN, the sports sound of the district. Today, we welcome a living legend of the gridiron. Nicknamed the Nigerian Nightmare, he was known for his powerful running style and ability to break tackles. He spent 6 seasons in the NFL, all with the Kansas City Chiefs. In that time, he was a 2-time Pro Bowl selection and was named the AFC's Offensive Player of the Year in 1989.
And this time, Okoye's got a big hole, and he's got a first down across the 30. Okoye up the middle has got about 7 more. Okoye left side, and a first down. And Okoye off to a tremendous start.
Fans nicknamed the Nigerian Nightmare, Christian Okoye.
And Christian joins this live stream broadcast of Listen In with KNN right now with your host, Kelsey Nicole Nelson. It's Listen In with KNN, the sports sound of the district. We bring you the biggest guests, great analysis, and the hottest sports stories in the nation's capital and beyond. And we bring it to you live. Welcome to this live stream broadcast of Listen In with KNN. Here's your host, Kelsey Nicole Nelson.
All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another live stream edition of Listen In with KNN, presented by Fox Sports Radio, 96.9 FM and 1340 AM. Before I get started, I want to send a very special thank you to everyone for all of the wonderful birthday wishes yesterday. I truly appreciated it, truly appreciate y'all, and truly appreciate y'all still rocking with me as I grow older and gain another year of life. We have a great show in store today. I know you all are excited for it and ready for it. Daniel Artest already checking in. I'll show you love as we prepare to welcome Christian Okoye, the Nigerian Nightmare, former All-Pro running back for the Kansas City Chiefs, and is doing so many great things also with the California Sports Hall of Fame. We're going to talk about the latest and greatest in sports and across his fabulous career. But before I welcome Christian onto the show, I do want to pay respect to civil rights icon, Representative John Lewis, who we unfortunately lost late yesterday. Just a tremendous career fighting for civil rights, fighting for racial justice, especially in the Jim Crow South. We thank him for all of his contributions. It's a tough day. I mean, just a true pioneer. And then also we lost Reverend C.T. Vivian, another key civil rights leader. So just, it's a really hard year, 2020, but I hope we get to bring some joy, but did want to pay my respects. And now I will welcome onto the show none other than Mr. Christian Okoye. Christian, how are you today?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me, Kelsey.
It's my pleasure, a true pleasure. And before I get things started, I have to first ask you, how are you feeling? How are you doing? How's life, Christian?
Oh man, I tell you what, it's a crazy time right now, trying to dodge the coronavirus.
Yes.
It's hard work, but we're staying healthy. That's the important thing.
That's what's very important. I'm glad you're healthy because we needed you on this show. How's the family? How are the kids? Everyone's doing okay?
Everybody's doing good. Everybody's healthy,
Yeah.
So we want to keep it that way.
Yes.
Hopefully, maybe very soon, this virus will go by and life will go back to normal.
That's what we're all praying for, Christian. Life as normal,
Yes.
right? It's hard to even remember what normal was because we've been in this, I think, way longer than we expected. And I'm sure
Right,
the kids are
right.
adjusting to online school. Like we're all just having so many new normals. And actually, while we're on that,
Yes.
Christian, could you have imagined this happening when you were playing and how you think you would have handled it during your playing career? Like, what would you
You
have been
know,
doing working out in the house? Like, I don't know, because you had this sculpted body when you were playing, right? You were a bodybuilder, and then you're stuck in the house. You can't go to the gym. I mean, what would life have been like for you?
it's hard. I mean, today I see a bunch of videos posted by current players, and
Yeah,
everybody's just working out on their own because you do have to work out.
right,
You have to stay in some kind of shape because your
right,
body is your company.
right.
So if I was playing today, I'd be doing the same thing. But the main thing is that because of the time allowed, because of the virus, everybody's staying healthy. If you had any injuries, if you had
Yeah,
any operations any procedures to do, you get that taken care of. And so healthy is the main thing right now.
yeah. It's the
So
biggest thing.
yes.
That's so awesome. Well, look, if anybody knows how to stay healthy, it was you. We know your great career. I want to talk football with you, but before we go on to the show, I do want to give you a chance to talk on the life of Representative John Lewis, as I know you posted an Instagram tribute just paying respect to just the great life that he led.
I mean, when one of these guys pass away,
Yeah,
all the things they've done for we black people here. Although when they were doing all that, I wasn't born,
yeah,
but they set the stage
yeah,
for today's everybody, not only black people, Mexicans, even whites,
right.
all races, all over the world. Everybody's mourning him because
Yeah,
this guy dedicated himself, his whole life, to fighting injustice.
right,
You have to admire that. You have to respect somebody who dedicate themselves, their whole lives, to
right.
something that is selfless,
Mm-hmm.
a complete selfless. So not everybody can do that, and he did it, and he did it very, very well. So
Yeah.
we have to respect his work.
And it's huge. And I think when we think about life in America, I think we can relate the work that he did to some of the things we see now, Christian. We see the Black Lives Matter movement. We see people just kind of basically tired of being sick and tired, Christian. So for you, growing up in Africa, and then, of course, moving here, what has that meant to you now, living here, to see all that's happening around the world with statues getting removed and schools being renamed? I mean, what's your outlook? What's your perspective on all that's currently happening in the country?
Well, little things that happen, and sometimes we say things happen for us to learn.
Yeah.
Life is an experience, and so on and so forth. And
Yeah.
George Floyd dying is a
Hmm.
really bad thing.
Yeah.
But looking on the bright side, it's actually a good thing in a way because all these things are happening. So
Yeah.
his life is sacrificed
Hmm.
for these good things to happen.
Right.
It's kind of like if you're a Christian, you think about Jesus Christ dying for us to live.
Yes.
You know, so all this is happening. If George Floyd wasn't killed and somebody capturing everything on the camera,
Right.
I mean, all this will not be happening. All these changes,
Right.
you see. So we have to thank George Floyd, but it sounds bad. It
Yeah.
sounds bad because he deserves to live.
Right.
But his death has brought all these changes, and of course, John Lewis
Yes.
spending his whole life doing what all of us can't even do. You have to just look at everything and thank God that it's happening. All the name changes and all the recognition of
Right.
injustice going on in America. Things are changing, and it's changing for the better.
Yeah, changing for the better is what we want, right? For your kids and the future kids and the next generations. We want to leave this country better than it was before. And I think what you said is
Yes.
so important. He didn't die in vain. All right, now we're going to switch to a bit happier tones. We're going to talk you and all of the great stuff going on. But before we get started, Christian, I had you on the show almost over a year ago. Since that time, your Kansas City Chiefs became world champions, Christian.
That's
Congratulations.
right. It's
I know
about,
that's exciting for you. How did you feel
it
when they
is
won the big
exciting.
game?
Oh man, I tell you what, it just came, and I'm still dreaming right now because watching all the games, all the playoff games, coming
Yeah,
from behind and winning all the games. During the Super Bowl, it's 7 minutes left, and we're
yeah,
10 points behind, and then three touchdowns, boom, boom, boom.
yeah.
All those things are just magical, and I'm still excited about it, and all of us Chiefs are all excited about it. And
Yeah.
Mahomes is just a godsend. It's just a
Amazing.
godsend. And
Amazing.
yes, so we're going to celebrate, and we're still going to celebrate. And hopefully the team, let me tell you something, the
Yeah.
team is preparing for the second win in a
Uh-oh.
row. So
Okay.
yes, because we got everybody back, and we even beefed up the team a little bit,
Yeah.
signing all the key players. So we're coming back.
I love it. So your call. Uh-oh. We're going to see them hoist the trophy again, Christian, in Tampa. Tom Brady's not
I
going to
think
do
so. Yes.
it.
No. His time is come and gone. Okay.
We're over you, Brady. I'm sorry. Hang it up. No, I'm just kidding. We're excited to see Brady play, but it was so excited. And talking about Mahomes, Christian, he got paid. Biggest payday in not even just football history. We're talking about sports. Like this contract that his agent Lee Steinberg was able to negotiate. Just amazing. I think many say well-deserved, but what pressure do you think that puts on Patrick to perform with your Kansas City Chiefs?
Knowing Mahomes and knowing the kind of person he is,
Yeah.
no pressure at all, because that's two different things.
Mm-hmm.
Business one side, and then football is on the other side.
Right.
So I don't think he's going to feel any pressure. He's going to go out there. If you watch Mahomes play, if you watched him last year, Mahomes is like a kid playing in the backyard, having fun, playing
He's
football.
excited.
You
Yeah.
see, when you enjoy your game like that, when you enjoy, put fun into it, I mean, no pressure at all. So I don't see any pressure on him. And
Yeah.
and the whole team follows suit too. So that's one thing that I'm very, very happy about.
Yeah, and like many are happy about it. 24-year-old, the richest contract in NFL history, average annual salary of $45 million once the extension kicks in during the 2022 season. I think if anybody deserves it, it's definitely Patrick Mahomes. And talking about young quarterbacks, especially as we talk about the AFC, Christian, a lot of people are also happy about this new rivalry I think we have now with the Baltimore Ravens, Lamar Jackson on the other side of it. Hopefully if things go right this season and we have football, we'll see Patrick Mahomes take on Lamar Jackson. But what do you think about that other young quarterback on this other side of the United States and how he's been playing football?
Well, I like Lamar a lot.
Yeah.
He's brought a new dimension to the game. It's like if people compare him to Michael Vick.
Yeah.
And Michael Vick, I was a big fan,
Yeah.
Enjoyed watching him. I watched him play as much as I watched the Chief play when he was playing. So, and
Wow.
today,
Yeah.
when Lamar plays, he makes the game exciting the way he plays it. So, I'm sure that I'll be watching him play just like I did for Michael
Michael
Vick.
Vick. Yeah.
And yeah, so now to compare Lamar Jackson
Yeah.
and Mahomes, I tell you what, you know who I'm going to go with,
Of course, we know who you're
because
going to go with, Christian. We know you have a little bias.
well, yeah, we almost saw the two teams in the AFC Championship last year, but we didn't because
Yeah.
Tennessee went over there and beat them down with their running game, and Tennessee brought the running game to Kansas City and think they're going to do the same. Nah,
Not happening again,
Mahomes
Christian.
said no, not happening because they were ahead too. They were one of
Right.
those teams. They were ahead,
Right.
and they think they were going to beat us. But Mahomes said no, put his game into another gear.
Yeah.
So I believe in Mahomes, and Lamar will have his time.
Yeah.
But right now it's Mahomes' time.
Right now it's Mahomes' time. And look, I don't think anyone would disagree, but I'm excited. Lots of young quarterbacks in the league. I think making this game fun. We're all excited to watch. I think we're in for a lot more great football. So it sounds like, Christian, do you think they can go undefeated next season, the Kansas City Chiefs?
I'm not going to say undefeated because that's a lot of pressure right there.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to say undefeated. They will not be undefeated, but they will do just like they did this last year.
Okay. And that's fair.
This last year that's fair because Mahomes, he got injured. He had his kneecap dislocated and he took a few weeks off and then came back and showed the world what he could do. So,
yeah.
And he did it.
An impressive young man. And Christian, we take some live questions from the fans. I hope you don't mind that. So as we talk about today's NFL, we have a quick question from Junior Christ. How do you think you would do in today's NFL?
I would just say, give me the ball. I'm running everybody over. You know what I'm saying?
The
Just
same
like I did
Nigerian
before.
Nightmare, no
I think I'll
changes.
do very well.
I love
Just
it.
like I
Look, I
did
don't think
before, I'll do
anyone's.
the same thing.
I love that. And speaking
That's
of
right.
which,
That's right.
Junior had another question, which I was actually going to ask you, but I know you've probably seen the news. Everyone's talking about Steve Atwater going into the Hall of Fame, a man that you know well. And of course, you did run everybody over, but people always make the comparison. They said if the one person that could stop Christian Okoye might have been this guy right here, Steve Atwater. When you saw that he is going to the Hall of Fame, Christian, just what were your overall thoughts and feelings and emotions?
Well, the thing is that Steve is a great guy. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, he's a great football player too.
Yeah.
And every time they bring me up, I think it kind of puts him down a little bit because he's
Yeah.
done a lot of things.
Yeah.
And they keep bringing me up, and the hit that he put on me, he did more than that. I mean, he was a much better player than just that one play.
Right.
So him going into the Hall of Fame, he deserves it because he was a great, great player. He's one of the best. But the hit he put on me, it was a good play for him.
Yeah.
But it's not enough for him to be put in the Hall of Fame. He did more outside of that. That's what I'm saying.
No,
Yes.
and you're completely right. I think many would agree. I mean, smiling assassin, right, as they like to call him. Some say arguably one of the greatest defensive players in Denver Broncos history. And just what he did, I think, is phenomenal. If you don't know enough about him, just Google him and look up his plays. Because like you said, he made a lot of great ones. And it's great to see that he will be going in there. And Christian, people want to get to know you a little bit better. So we're going to have a little fun. And before we talk more football, while at Casino, hopefully I said that right, favorite Nigerian rice, jollof rice or fried rice? He put you on the spot, Christian.
That's right. Nigeria, we don't have fried rice, but we do have jollof rice.
Right.
We do have jollof rice.
I've had it. It's good,
and
Christian.
Jollof rice is the best, yeah.
Do you cook any, Christian?
There you go. Oh, gosh. I cook everything that I eat. I'm a good cook. Ask my sisters. They'll tell you.
Nice. We're going to need the Christian Okoye cookbook.
I cook all the dishes. I don't know about cookbook, but I cook very well. I'm not bragging. It's the truth.
I love it. Well, that is so much fun. And actually, while we're talking about that, let's get into you. Obviously, you've had a phenomenal career. But I mean, Christian, many give you the applause as we think about Africans playing in the NFL. Of course, we know in Africa, soccer is a major sport. You had experience playing soccer growing up. So just talk about your journey to the NFL. And just, did you ever think it would get to where you got in today's NFL's game?
No, of course not. I mean, I grew up playing soccer, and then I got too big and switched to track and field.
Right.
I ran a little bit. I did the huddles, and then I couldn't run anymore, so I switched to field events. I started throwing the shot put and the discus, and that's actually what brought me to America.
Right.
I came to Azusa Pacific University in 1982, hoping to get into the Olympics in '84, but Nigeria didn't take me.
Yeah.
So I decided to join the college football team, and I played in college 2 years. And people told me, "Why don't you go back and play your third year for more experience, and you can try out for NFL?" And I hated football at the time, and my friends talked me into it.
Yeah.
So I went back for my third year, and I played.
Wow.
And I did very well. So the scouts came and started trying me out and to see what I could do. But I lucky enough, I was invited to go and play in the Senior Bowl.
Yeah.
Went to Senior Bowl and scored 4 touchdowns. And from there, everybody came, including the Chiefs. And then during the draft, the Chiefs drafted me in the second round, and the rest is history.
Yeah, the rest is history, as they like to say. And you just had a phenomenal career with the Kansas City Chiefs. So I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you, Christian, just what are some of your favorite memories playing with that great franchise?
I will tell you that number one is the family, the Hunt family is great. The organization is a great organization.
Yeah.
They treat everybody well. And the city is just incredible. Restaurants, the people, the fans. I tell you, when I was playing my first few years, because I was new to the country and I was single. Coming to the game, I would walk through guys who were barbecuing and cooking, and they'll offer me food, and I'll eat a little. I'll eat a little bit in the parking lot, and after the game, I will come out after showering. I will sit with them and drink beer and eat.
Nice.
And those are the kind of fun that I remember, and it just makes me good. And Kansas City is like my second home, so I don't live there, but I'm there every month
So
because
awesome.
of so many friends that I have there. Yeah.
That is so great. And so I'm assuming you got some good barbecue, right, in Kansas City, Christian? I hope they treated you right.
Oh, come on. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Barbecue, Arthur Bryant's. Oh, man. 339. All those restaurants, man. Yeah. If you go to Kansas City, you better get you some barbecue.
Yes, you need to go to barbecue. You need to do it right if you go out there. And I appreciate you sharing those just great stories and memories, but also just on your legacy. I think when we think about what you did once you entered the league, I want to transition it to today. As of 2018, 30 of the 32 teams currently have a native-born or first-generation African player on their roster. Altogether, 18 countries have been represented, ranging from Africa's most populous nation, Nigeria, which you know, to one of the smallest, the Gambia. So when you hear numbers like that, you look at the Kansas City Chiefs, and you think about someone like Tamba Hali, a native of Liberia, and just so many other African players in the NFL. What does that mean to you, Christian?
It means a lot. It means a lot because I know our culture, the African culture. And when I first got in the league as the first guy that actually played football, because before me, we had some soccer players that became kickers in the NFL.
Right.
But I was the first player.
Right.
I remember when I told my dad, I wrote my dad a letter and told him, I said, I think I'm gonna play football.
Yeah.
And he replied saying, Christian, I read about that game. I don't think you should get into it because it's very dangerous. So he didn't want me to play, but I went in and played anyway. And later on, I sent him newspaper clippings and some of my stats and to tell him and show him how well I was doing, and then he was happy and he was relieved. So
it helps when your son's one of the best players, right, Christian?
Well, yeah. I'm telling you that because our culture is soccer. We play soccer. And soccer was what we know in Africa. So parents don't want to put their kids in a very dangerous situation. And football was a dangerous situation for us. And my dad didn't want me to. But when I started playing, other Nigerians and other African parents started putting their kids in the Pop 1 and so on and so forth. Now everybody's in it. And I'm very, very happy to see that.
Yeah, it's exciting. I think, and I would say Africa's really, I feel like the new frontier that sports are finally realizing. We see the NBA going to Africa. I'm sure you would love to see Africans grow more in the NFL, but it's an exciting time. And I think it shows how the NFL is really representative more and more of the world cultures. And I'm excited to see what's next. Again, so many great college players of African descent about to join the NFL in the future. So it's a fun time, Christian. It's an exciting time, and you helped to start that. So again, I applaud you for helping to kind of start that wave, Christian.
Yes. I have to say that what he said is right. A lot of players are in the NFL, and I've been trying to work with the NFL, with the commissioner, to see if we can to promote the game more in Africa, to have an exhibition game in Africa one time.
Oh, that's exciting.
But when things are, yes. And I think that will happen, and it will happen in the next few years. And if it happens, it will even broaden the areas where NFL is. Because in Africa right now, they're just starting to watch the game on TV.
Right.
Because their friends, family, and country members are playing in the league.
Right.
That's the only reason why they are watching. But if they bring the game in Africa and play once, I mean, it would just take over.
Yeah. They're going to be hooked on. Look, once you watch that first NFL game, if you're not hooked, I don't know what you were watching because it's that good. And then I think, like, as you say, are saying, then the children will be exposed and they can look at people like you and these current NFL players that we have today and say, you know what? I want to be like them when I grow up. I want to do that. And I think it's just an exciting time, Christian.
Exactly.
So again, I'm excited, especially if that game happens. And I know COVID will probably impact that, but hopefully we need COVID to go away so we can get to planning this, Christian, because I think that would be huge. It would be huge, especially to take place at one of those historic soccer sites that you all have over there. I think would just be momentous, and I think it'd be huge for the NFL.
Yeah, I think one of the reasons why it's kind of hard to start right now, well, with the COVID is a stumbling block. But football requires a lot. It requires to have a medical staff to be there in case of injuries.
Right.
So soccer is so easy. You can just pick up anything round and start kicking them around. That's what we do.
Right.
And that's what kids do in Nigeria.
Right.
But football needs a lot of preparation and a lot of things around before you can actually play it and play well.
Right.
So that's why it's taking so long.
Yeah, but look, we're excited. It's happening, and that's what starts. And you started that idea, so we appreciate you for that. And just staying on football, Christian, of course, all good things come to an end, though I know many Chiefs fans probably never wanted you to hang it up or retire. But during the 1993 season, you retired to face different challenges, which included raising your great kids. And then also now in 2006, we're going to fast forward, you became the president and founder of the California Sports Hall of Fame. Let's talk about this. Why was it so important to you, and how did you get it started? And then we'll talk about this last class that you inducted. It was just phenomenal.
Well, I was inducted into the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame. I think it was in 2003. And when I came back to California, I started doing my research to find out if California had one. Yeah. And I called all my friends, and the first person I called was the late Bill Walsh. Mm-hmm. And I asked him if there was any California Sports Hall of Fame. He told me no. And so I started calling all the other people and asking for support also.
Right.
And everybody threw in their support. That's how I started it. And
wow.
We had our first induction. And we inducted about 19 individuals in the first one, 2006.
Yeah.
And then after that, the rest is history.
Yeah, that happens a lot with you, Christian, because everything you touch turns golden and the rest is history and great things happen, which is a good thing. And then if people don't know this,
I'm blessed.
You are, to say the least. This 2019 class that you had, Dr. Jerry Buss, Barry Bonds, Jim Gray, Marcus Johnson. I mean, the list just goes on and on and on. Todd Christensen. Wow. Just wow. And I think it just shows the true talent that we know that comes out of just that great state and all of those great contributions. And so just tell us, I mean, what's the future look like for the California Sports Hall of Fame? How do you hope to grow it? And has COVID at all impacted the work that you're trying to do with it?
Well, of course, COVID impacted everything. And we had to suspend the 2000 induction to 2021. That's when we're going to do that. And,
okay.
The class we inducted last in 2019.
Right.
I mean, it's just a great class, just like you say.
Yes.
And when people were surprised when Barry Bonds was nominated, mm-hmm. and people were asking me, "Hey, what do you think? Are you going to have some trouble?" I said, "Trouble about what?"
Right.
Right. You need to talk to Barry Bonds to know him personally.
Yeah.
He's a great guy. He had a bunch of great stories.
Yeah.
When he was inducted. And he did, of course, we all know what he did on the baseball field.
Right.
So there's nothing that could have prevented us from not inducting anybody that was nominated by their peers, because members are the ones that nominate people. So their peers nominated him, that we inducted him, and I hope MLB will follow suit and induct him into the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame, because he deserves it. He needs to be in there. Yeah.
I mean, just a phenomenal player, as you were saying. And, people like to talk, Christian. There's always going to be some naysayer saying something. But I think I'm like you. I mean, what he did on the baseball field, just tremendous work. And
Yeah.
I'm glad you didn't let anybody get in your ear when you knew what you wanted to do with his legacy and his body of work.
Yeah. Yeah, just think about what Astros did and admitted to it, and nothing is going to happen to them. They just
Yeah.
find them here and there, and that's it. And are you going to punish somebody who you didn't even can pinpoint exactly the wrong thing he did?
Right.
So I'm not
Right.
too happy about that. You see, yes.
Yeah, no, it's the classes that you had and that was the 2019 class. If you guys thought those names were big, look through the rest of the classes that Christian has put through. And again, we're excited for 2021. Hopefully we'll get to make it out there and see it in person. And then also outside of that, you do a lot of charitable work. You have the Okoye Foundation, which I think is phenomenal, giving back to the community. So talk about just your work with the foundation and what you're currently up to and doing with that.
Yeah, in 1990, I formed my foundation because, of course, I was born very, very poor. And
Right.
when I was growing up, I never had anybody come to my elementary school and speak to me, or
Wow. Yeah.
high school and speak to us. So we tried to, help kids that way. Send some of my friends to schools and speaking to kids. And during the summertime, those kids that can't afford to go to summer camps, we'll bring them in and host camps for them.
Right.
So that's what we did for many years. But last year or 2 years ago, I moved most of my foundation back to Nigeria because we have a lot of kids that are standing around doing nothing. They need motivation. So we decided to go ahead and motivate them by hosting the camps over there and having some people work with them every week, year round.
Wonderful. I
Trying
love
to
it.
show them different ways.
Yeah.
Showing them different ways they can set goals and look forward to some things in the future, So, because it's not all the time that you can just, get scholarship to somebody, although we try to get into that, but get the kids' minds into thinking more.
Yes.
They can be,
Yes.
That's a start.
Yeah, it's huge. And as we talk about education, Christian, it makes me go to today. And I just want to talk about this with you. We have student athletes now worried about their futures, right? Because of COVID, worried about if they're playing or not. We have students worried about college and just so on and so on. So first I want to ask you on the student athlete perspective, with all that's going on, do you think we should move forward and try to play sports? Or are you more on the hesitant side of trying to figure COVID out, making it safe, and then getting the kids back on the playing field?
If they can play in the bubble, just like NBA is
NBA.
doing, like NHL and soccer is doing, maybe they can do that. But if they will practice, play, and then go home, I don't think it's the best idea because they will carry that stuff. The players are probably not going to get very sick when they get it.
Right.
It's who they're going to take it home to. Their parents, their grandparents. Those are the ones who will suffer from the disease, from the virus. So that's the danger in that. So if they play in the bubble, I think that's the best way to do it.
Yeah, the safety, we just want it safe. I think we're monitoring. I think we're all watching the NBA, seeing how things go. But I think at the end of the day, we just want to keep the kids safe. We want to keep the young people safe because as much as we love sports, I think we all can say we all value human life and safety, more than the great games that we love and entertainment we love. So I appreciate you touching on that. And really quick, we have a quick question from a fan going back to your California Sports Hall of Fame. Hi, Christian. He says, will you induct Kobe Bryant into the California Sports Hall of Fame?
Of course, Kobe, people don't know this, but Kobe is like my all-time great. The two people that I looked up to was Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Jim Brown, some of those guys. When I was playing football, I was watching Jim Brown's films and Jim Taylor's films and stuff. So I kind of, look up to those guys, people that put in the work, people that know what hard work is and what it produces. And Kobe Bryant is just the guy. So, of course, we're going to put Kobe Bryant into the California Sports Hall of Fame.
Man, and I appreciate you touching on that. And Christian, I would hate to take you back to this horrible moment for all of us, but just when you heard that news that Kobe had passed away, what was it like for you? What was going through your mind and your head?
I cried. I cried because I
Yeah.
talk about Kobe all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, everything that every time he's on TV, he was on TV every time. Like I'm a big Laker fan, by the way.
Yeah.
So and he played for the Lakers. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
When Magic Johnson was playing, I was watching the Lakers, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, James Worthy, and
Yes.
now Kobe Bryant came. Are you kidding me?
That
Oh
dynasty.
my goodness.
Yeah.
Yes. So I'm a huge, huge, huge Kobe Bryant fan.
Yeah.
And when he retired, of course, we're all sad that he retired. And then when he died, um, I
Yeah.
mean, I cried because I was at a place in Kansas City with my son, and my son looked at me and said, Kobe Bryant died. I
Wow.
thought he was playing with me
Right.
because
Like, no
I was
way, right?
talking about, yeah, I thought I was, because I talked to him about Kobe all the time in his dedication
Wow.
and so on. And when he said that, I said, yeah, right, you know.
Wow.
And then another guy who came to ask for an autograph told me, said, yeah, did you hear about what happened today? I said, what? He says, Kobe Bryant died. I said, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
And I busted, I cried because, he was young. He
Yeah.
was young with beautiful family and his
Yeah.
dedication to
Gone
his
too soon.
daughters. I mean, yeah, so I mean, you went too soon, and I'm saddened by it every time I think about it.
Yeah, it's going to be so special when you do that, and I think all of us will be watching because I think we all loved Kobe. We all felt he was taken too soon, and I
Yes.
think now we're even still trying to put the pieces together, and it's been hard, right? This year has been very tough for many people, Christian. Just
Whew.
so many things happening, right? To
O-
say the least.
Only one good thing. Only
Yeah,
one good thing happened in 2020,
what was that?
and I know. Oh yeah, come on, you know what happened?
Oh,
Chiefs
you
won
mean
the
you mean
Super
that little
Bowl.
bowl game that you guys won out there in Kansas City? Of course, that
We
was
won the
fabulous.
Super Bowl. That's right. That's
We
the
needed
only
a bright
good thing
spot,
that happened
Christian.
in
So
2020.
yes, thank you to the Chiefs for doing that. But it's just it's phenomenal. And again, we need some joy. And actually, going off on that, we have one more quick question from a fan for you, Christian. What was your relationship with Hakeem Olajuwon? You two were beasts during your time with the Chiefs.
I was a big fan of Akim because
Yeah.
number one, he's born in Nigeria. He's from
Yes.
Nigeria, and when he
So that
played in
hometown
college,
love.
I loved.
Yes.
Yeah, when he played in college, during his college years, I was in college as well, and I watched him win the national championships.
Yeah.
And then he played in the NBA, and I watched his whole game with the
Yeah.
time he played with the Rockets. And then when I was coming out, from Little Azusa Pacific University, the
Yeah.
Oilers flew me out to go and check out the facility and meet with me,
Yeah.
and they had Akeem Olajuwon host me.
Oh, how
He
perfect
picked
was
me
that?
up from the airport. That's
Yeah.
right. He picked me up from the airport, and I spent 2 days with him, driving me everywhere,
Wow.
and I thought I was in heaven. So no, he's one of the best.
Nice. I love that. Do you get to play any hoops now, Christian? Can you hoop a little bit?
No, I can't. I'm
No,
I'm
no.
I'm beaten up. Football beat me up a little bit, so I can't do that. I
Not
wish.
anymore, right? Well, look, you gave us some good and
No.
great football memories on the field. And I know before I get you out of here, a lot's happening in DC, Christian. We're based in DC. Talking about the big things happening in 2020, you might have heard our Washington football team now, which I don't even know. I can't call them formerly the Washington Redskins. They're still looking for a name and a
Yeah.
logo. So obviously this is a team that you're familiar with from playing in the NFL. When you heard the news that Washington would finally be changing its team name and logo, what thoughts were going through your mind?
Well, the thing is that they're no longer called the Redskins anymore, so we can't
Right.
even say that
I
anymore.
know it's no
Yeah.
name right now. It's
So
the Washington Football Club, I guess is what we're calling them for now.
yeah, they will figure out a name
Mhm.
later, but they're thinking about it. And the thing is that I am friends with a lot of Indians, and I've
Yeah.
talked to them about this.
Yeah.
And the weird thing is that they're not even offended by the name.
Interesting. Yeah.
Most of them are not. They are not even offended by the name.
Wow.
And I was talking to one of them last night, and he told me, he says, if you go into the Indian nations,
Yeah.
some of the football teams are even called the Redskins. So they
Interesting.
named their own teams the
After that.
Redskins.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're not even offended by the name that is going on around the league and colleges and stuff. So,
Right.
but it's happening. It's happening,
Yeah.
and all this stuff that is going on right now outside of COVID, it's a wave, and the wave is sweeping names and statues and things and changing, some of our,
Yeah.
formerly believed items. So that's what's going on right now.
Yeah, and I appreciate you touching on that because, as you can probably tell, I mean, DC sports has been in the news lately. We've been topping the news, but of course, that name change I think was kind of what spurred everything. And it's been great to talk to former players about their thoughts, as we change, because they've been
Yeah.
around a long time. And now even here, people are trying to figure out what to do with their gear. Are they still going to wear it to games? Are they not going to wear it to games? We're still searching for a name. We have like Red Wolves out there, Renegades. Any favorites, Christian, at all? Have you heard any good names that you would like this team to be called?
No, maybe the Nationals. They can do Washington Nationals.
But then
You
we'd
know what
be
I'm
copying
saying?
the baseball team.
No, it's okay. This is football. This is football. They can
We'll just
still
have
be
two.
Nationals, Yeah.
Nothing wrong with
So
that, right?
nothing wrong with that.
I love it. I love it. Well, I appreciate you touching on that. I'm glad you all aren't having all those problems out in Kansas City. Christian, I truly appreciate your time just so much that we got to touch on. And before I let you go, just any last words for the listening audience?
Well, since all this is going on, I'm just going to tell people to treat each other right.
Right.
That's the main thing. Treat each other right. This COVID thing is never going to go away if we don't take care of ourselves. I
Right.
see many people protesting that it's their right not to wear COVID. Yeah, it's your right to be stupid too, but
Yeah.
protect yourself. If you don't care about your health, you
Right.
should care about the health of those people that you're around.
Your
Just put them
family.
on. It's not going to hurt you. Don't make it a political thing.
Right.
Put the mask on.
Yeah.
And let this thing be over with. There's no cure for it right now.
Right.
If we all wear masks, it will go away.
Right. Just do our part. That's all we have to do. Do our part. I hear people complaining about the comfortableness and stuff. Look, I don't mind if it's not comfortable if I'm helping to protect myself and others. And there's so many different kinds now. I'm sorry, but that's just not an excuse. We have our top doctors telling us to wear a mask. We had Bill Nye, the science guy, come out and tell us to wear a mask and talk about the importance. I appreciate you touching on it. Christian, I'm assuming yours is Kansas City Chiefs. Is that the mask you have? Is it Kansas City Chiefs themed?
What's that?
Is your face mask, is it Kansas City Chiefs themed? I'm assuming you got a Chiefs one.
Yeah, I do. I have one. Yeah, of course. I wore it last night.
But of course, right? But of course, it was only right. Well, I appreciate you again, Christian, joining the show. Please don't be a stranger to the show. So much fun to have you, and hopefully we'll have you back on in the future again. Thank you so much for joining me, Mr. Christian Okoye, aka the Nigerian Nightmare. Thanks again.
Kelsey is always good.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Bye, Christian.
Thank you, Kelsey. Take care.
Thanks so much. Bye. All right, everyone. Well, that'll do it for this edition of Listen In with KNN. I hope you had fun, learned something, and of course, jumped in on the KNN bandwagon. We'll be back next Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with Sean Marion. Yes, we're bringing you guys more great shows. Of course, hashtag Listen In with KNN or hashtag LIWKNN. Anytime you like the content, please join the show. Ask questions. You might just see yourself pop up on screen. Again, we have many great shows in the works throughout the summer. You are not going to want to miss it. Every Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, every Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And again, if you guys saw this bobbing around, I have so many gifts left. But again, thank you for the birthday wishes. You all are the best. We have many great things now that I'm a year older. We're going to keep the celebration going. So again, that'll do it for this edition of Listen In with KNN. I'm your host, Kelsey Nicole Nelson. And until next week, enjoy the weekend. Please stay cool. And yes, wear those face masks. Bye, guys. Thanks so much for joining.
Follow Kelsey on social media at The Real K Nelson. and catch each broadcast of Listen In with KNN on air at AM 1340 and 96.9 FM Fox Sports Radio, on YouTube, on Facebook and Twitter, and online at KelseyNicoleNelson.com. Thank you for watching this special live stream broadcast of Listen In with KNN.
You used to hear me on your airwaves or hear me on my hit podcast, but now I'm taking you to the screen. You'll love Elevator Thoughts. We will talk the latest trending in sports. It's game time. What better way to get to know those that visit the shows than over some good food and drink? It's time for confessions.